Hi, welcome to Life is a Treasure podcast. I'm your hostess, Michelle Durand, and you're listening to episode number 44. And if this is your first time joining us, I would like to sincerely welcome you, and I hope that you would subscribe and stick around and be part of our family. So in this episode today, I'm going to be continuing a little mini series that I'm doing for the month of August pertaining to the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I always say his name wrong. Ruiz. So the book is The Four Agreements, and last week we talked about being impeccable with our words. This week, the second agreement is don't take anything personally. I really love this one because this is something that I have struggled with probably my entire life, and I still do. And maybe you do too. Maybe you feel like, people have said to you, you're too sensitive, or, we just feel more vulnerable to others' opinions and judgments. And this is just normal in being a human being. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to really look at what does it mean to take things personally? How do we not take things personally? And also, we are coming into a new moon on August 18th. And that new moon energy is all about planning and planting seeds and setting new intentions and new visions for the future. And so, as you listen to this episode, I'm going to ask that you have an open heart and an open mind and really look into yourself and see, do I take things personally? I have new ideas, new intentions as we go through the rest of 2020. Look for ways that you yourself, along with me, I'm definitely going along on this journey with this podcast with you all, and to really look inside and see number one, am I taking things personally? Number two, how can I not take things personally? And so I hope that you can get comfortable, grab yourself something yummy to drink, and let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to start this episode by opening it up with a quote written by the author himself. And he says, "Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering." Life is a Treasure podcast is all about healing, mind, body, spirit. I read something this week that I really loved. It said, we are not a human being with a soul. We are a soul in a body. We are a soul in this body. And our soul gets hurt in the real world. Our emotions, our feelings, we suffer. We allow ourselves so many times to go through things in life as a victim, and we remain a victim by blaming other people instead of taking responsibility for our own pain and suffering. And throughout the episodes that I create, I really hope to encourage and inspire anyone who listens to deal with the areas that need to heal. It's not an easy process to transform our pain into purpose. As most of you may know, I also have an organization, and I work with clients through Tears to Treasures. And I started Tears to Treasures working with women who have had abortion experiences. And then men started coming, and I helped men process the aftermath of abortion. And then it expanded from there because I went through a divorce. My children moved away. And now the work that I do with people is to transform the things in their life that have caused them so many tears and still causing them pain and tears, and to transform that into something beautiful that they can treasure and more treasured memories, and to learn how to live life with peace, love, and joy again. And because when we are stuck in our pain, it's very difficult to feel peace, because inside it's just a major chaos. And it's very difficult to feel joy when we're stuck in suffering. So I just really hope that through our episode today, you will be able to learn how to not take anything personally. So how do we do that? It's about learning how to learn your truth. Know who you are deep down inside. When you know who you are, you're less likely to try to have to believe what others say, who others say you are. You know, all throughout my life, and especially as I speak publicly about some very painful things, you know, people have tried to ridicule me and throw their judgment and their opinions on me, and, you know, talk about me behind my back, you know, and through that, I had to learn that, you know, I am not who you say I am. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And I'm sorry if you don't agree with, actually, I'm trying to change that. I'm not always sorry for what other people think. I'm not sorry and apologizing for who I am. But the fact of the matter is that their opinions and their judgments, they don't dictate who I am or how I feel. I've often said, you know, what you think or say about me is not my business. It's not my business what other people think or say about me. And in order to avoid being so caught up in that trap, we have to be living our life, living our purpose, knowing who we are. And, you know, this is a great time to really look inside of ourselves and say, you know, do I really know who I am? And a lot of times when things that people say or do trigger us, that's just because it's like an open wound. And if you have an open cut and you bump it, it's going to hurt. That's going to trigger pain. And when someone says something and you hear something and it triggers you, just know that it's not about you, what they're saying, but use that as a guide to areas to learn where you may need healing. And because that's an open wound that needs healing. And they may not even know. You know, it could be someone you don't even know from the internet that makes a comment and you're like, ooh, you know, that hurt or something. And then you need to examine it. I do this too. And it's like, I have to think, number one, is this true? You know, do I even know this person? This person doesn't even know me. Am I going to put value in what they're saying? But I can use that as a guide. If it triggers me, like, ask myself, why is it triggering me? What inside of me is hurt and remembering something that's causing and bringing up pain? Because that's where I need to go. That's the core. That's the root. I need to go there. I need to examine this. I need to figure out why I'm feeling this way. I need to deal with it. I need to learn how to heal. I need to change this about me, and I need to develop self-development. This whole podcast, Life is a Treasure, is about self-development. Tears to Treasures is about self-transformation. But this podcast is about self-development. Because when we start to practice not taking things personally, it needs to become a daily habit. We can have awareness first of areas that need healing. You know, what things people are saying that we're taking personally, have awareness to that. And then see, does this align with who you are or who you want to be? Do you want to agree with them, or do you want to just disagree with what's been said about you? Or even some past beliefs. Do you still want to agree with that? Or do you want to change that? And then from that place, then you can take action. and you can start to heal. You can start to transform. And so use the energy of this new moon to set some new intentions, to create some new daily habits, to practice not taking things personally, because it is a practice, it is a process. But ultimately, this whole goal is to learn how to trust yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Know your truth. And from that place, you can make decisions, choices, actions that will help you to create a life that you can treasure. You can learn how to create immunity to what others say and do when you learn to trust and love yourself and to know who you are and to know your truth. That is what's going to bring us inner joy. That's what's going to bring us peace. And that's going to allow us to experience so much more love in our lives. Love for yourself, love for the world, love for other people. And being open to love leaves no room for fear. You don't need to fear opinions of others. You don't need to fear judgments. You don't need to fear who's gossiping about you when you know who you are. Because the truth is, we can't control what others think, say, or do. We can only control whether or not we agree with them, whether or not we fall into their beliefs, and we can only control ourselves and how we respond or react. So I really want to encourage you to try to implement some of this into your daily life. Practice it until it becomes a habit, until it becomes your daily routine to respond rather than to react. Try to get rid of any self-doubt, because when we're filled with self-doubt, it's hard to trust ourselves. It's because our intuition is what guides us. Our intuition is our inner knowing. And so we have to know who we are, what we want in life, and what we believe in and what we stand for. And when you do, and you're so rooted in like a tree, yeah, the wind will come and those comments and opinions can come, but they'll just keep on going, just like the wind. Just let them go. Don't attach yourself to labels, to what other people say. Don't fall into their agreement. Don't drink their poison. Don't let them hook you and feed you the poison, because that's when you become a victim. That's when we allow others to control us. And that's when we become more vulnerable to abuse. So know who you are and take your power back. Learn how to live in the present moment, in our own truth, being open, being aware of the areas that we need to work on, that we need to deal with, that we need to heal once and for all. So as you can see, last week we spoke about being impeccable with our words. And this week, don't take anything personally, really has a lot to do with our mindset and our mental state. And next week, we're going to be looking at the third agreement, which is don't make assumptions. And when we assume things and we assume we know what others are thinking and why they do what they do, a lot of times that just leads us to disappointment. And next week, I really do believe that this episode is going to help with our relationships with ourselves and also relationships with everyone in our lives. How to learn to not make assumptions. I hope you will subscribe and stick around and listen to that episode as well. I have some exciting news. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I'm going to give away the book that I'm using that's been inspiring me to create these episodes in the month of August. And the book is The 4 Agreements, a Toltec wisdom book, a practical guide to personal freedom by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the way that you can enter this giveaway is to share any of the podcast episodes. All of the episodes are on every podcast platform, but to be more convenient, if you're not like connected to an app with podcast, I have all of the podcast episodes listed on my website, and I'll have a link in the show notes. It's lifeisatreasure.com. Click on listen to the podcast episode, and they're all there. In order to enter this giveaway for the free book, what you'll need to do is share any of the episodes, whichever one you've listened to that you really loved. And I would like for you to share it and a little quote, a little comment about why you love it or why they should listen to it, and tag me. Now that's the key. In order to be entered into the drawing, you will need to tag me on my Instagram or on my Facebook, which the links are in the show. They're in my website, and the link from website is in the show notes. So you can go to either one, Instagram or Facebook, and share any episode and tag me. And when you tag me, and then that's how you're going to enter the drawing. And I'm going to be announcing the winner on August 27th. So you have a few more weeks to do this in order to enter the giveaway. And I know you will love this book. It's a life-changing book, and you will really treasure it. So don't miss out. Go ahead right now. Share any of the episodes. Say why you loved it and tag me on Instagram or Facebook. And I will have you entered in the giveaway. Good luck, everyone. So I just hope that this episode will help you to live your life without taking anything personally. Know your truth. Know who you are. Know what you stand for. Believe in yourself. Know that you are worthy of every good thing. And until next week, I'm sending you all my peace, love, and joy. Thank you for listening to Life is a Treasure podcast. I'm Michelle Durand, and I'd like to personally invite you to join us and continue the conversation in our free Facebook group, Life is a Treasure podcast. The link will be in the show notes at lifeisatreasure.com. You can also find my social media links on the website as well. Please reach out to me and introduce yourself. I'd love to hear where you're listening from and what your biggest takeaways have been. And as we begin to share our secrets, our stories, and our struggles, we find that others can have the courage to start sharing theirs. And this is how the healing process begins. So please help us spread the hope and the healing to others by subscribing, reviewing, and sharing this podcast. And make sure to tag me on Instagram at Michelle Marie with 2 E's, Durand, Durand, with hashtag Life is a Treasure podcast for a chance to get a shout out on the show. And also visit lifeisatreasure.com for all the resources and freebies mentioned. We believe that everyone is equal and worthy of healing and unconditional love. And we promise that if you invest your time and energy to do the inner work, you too can transform yourself and create a life that is a treasure. So you can live authentically, love unconditionally, and laugh wholeheartedly. And until next week, peace, love, and joy.